Well, I woke up this morning from a reoccurring dream.
Was it a remake or wasn't it a remake? I think it was a remake. So
If not, it felt very, very familiar. But also, I hadn't realized that Jigarthanda was also a remake of a Korean movie.
Yeah. There's a lot of like back and forth and vitriol in the comments about whether it was a remake. Why are you comparing Jaby KOAY?
When we were watching this trailer, I was kind of feeling like, why do I feel like I've seen this movie already?
Yeah.
And then realized like, it's because I have. But just, you know, a Tamil version, which I didn't realize was a version of a Korean movie.
It never stops being fascinating to me how defensive people get when you say, this reminds me of this. It's a human response. Like if you see an outfit on someone, oh, that reminds me of this outfit that my girlfriend had. You know, I'm the one that came up with this outfit, not your girlfriend.
You gon' chasing rabbits, be careful what you find. The truth you seek might just blow right out.
What we're doing today is looking at all three trailers. BACHCHHAN PAANDEY again. We have our reaction that's already up to the trailer, which you've probably already seen. And then we're going to take a look at JIGARTHANDA, which is a film we've watched, but
And you've also seen the trailer too.
we've also seen the trailer, but we're going to look at it, you know, again, to just compare. And then finally, A Dirty Carnival. So we're going to look at all three of these back to back to back.
A Dirty Carnival is the Korean one, and I wasn't able to find a super high quality one with subtitles, so sorry about the quality on that one.
All right, well, here we go. Let's check it out one more time. Just to refresh our memories.
Just for shiggles.
I have finally decided कि मुझे किस पे फिल्म बनानी है। बाघवा का बच्चन पांडे।
देखो मालूम है कौन है वो? अरे यार किलर है यार वो। अरे रावण है वो रावण। उसका दिल और उसकी आँख दोनों पत्थर के हैं।
अवकाल बनाए रखे के लिए भय बनाए के रखना बहुत जरूरी है। कैच।
You know, my memory might not be serving me correctly, but the character that Akshay Kumar has created here definitely feels like much more over the top than the Jigarthanda one. The Jigarthanda one feels like, you know. You're right about that, by the way, the MBBS thing. People have mentioned that in the comments. It still cracks me up.
I know.
ये पेंडुलम ये बेवड़ा लव पिंकी से और लफड़ा हर किसी से करता है साले की ऐसे घूरेगा ना तो आग फोड़ देंगे ये बफरिया चाचा है मिरिंडा माजा का पिए मरिंडा या माजा मादर
ए मैं बच्चन पांडे से डायरेक्टली बात करूं क्या
ज्यादा लपड़ टपर किया ना यही गाड़ देंगे
मैं बस आप पे फिल्म बनाने आई थी
जैसे वो सत्या सरकार गैंग्स ऑफ वसेपुर वैसे बच्चन पांडे
अब तक आपने कितने लोगों को मारा
आपका 50 हम सबका 20 टोटल 70 हो गया भैया जी
और इन दोनों को मारे होते तो 72 हो जाते
और ये हमारे गुरुजी हां आवेश होपलो
बहुत मजा आओ से मायरा इन पत्थरों को तराशने में सफेद पत्थर काला पत्थर ये ग्रेनाइट गुरुजी का आशीर्वाद नहीं लोगे जस्ट अ टच मायरा क्लिक इसे कोई आशीर्वाद लेता है
जब हमारे
Not low enough
के लास्ट स्टेज पे थे और मेडिकल वाला पैसे के बिना दवाई देने को तैयार नहीं था हमने हथियार उठा लिया
He looks scary, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
The scars across his nose too.
Yeah.
मजा आता था और मारते थे और मजा आता था
और ये है सोफी बच्चन पांडे की महबूबा उसने अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड को मार दिया तेरे को और मेरे को क्या करेगा ना तू सोच भी नहीं सकती है घोड़े लग गए
घोड़े नहीं लोग
पता है मुझे तेरे सामने बोल नहीं सकता
तुम पर नजर तो हमरा पत्थर वाला आंख ने भी रखा था
प्लीज हमें छोड़ दीजिए
मुझे भाई नहीं गॉडफादर बोलते हैं.
That harmonica's fun. It gives it a very
like a western,
old western.
Yeah,
feel,
yeah. I still enjoy the comedy, and I enjoy what Akshay Kumar is bringing to the character for sure.
It's very fascinating to see Pankaj Tripathi in this role because it's a gangster film, but he's not playing, the gangster.
Yeah.
Even though he was like the Godfather in Mirzapur, right?
And he was also in Gangs of Wasseypur as well.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And
which they referenced.
Yeah, it's a kind of meta.
Lots of meta references in this.
But what I enjoy about him is just like he's such a versatile actor because in one film he's playing this super frightening villain who's very quiet and understated, and then the next thing he's playing this kind of goofy, uptight guy.
Yeah.
He's really good at being able to.
He's really good. He leans into everything, whether it's comedy or drama.
So here we go with JIGARTHANDA.
Yeah, let's see. Any similarities?
This already right off the bat feels a lot more grounded and serious.
Yeah, very different vibe. Like it feels quieter.
Yeah, with the Bollywood version, they just went a completely different direction.
So different.
It's very Tarantino.
A musical gangster story.
I'm probably repeating stuff I've said before, but all of that is very Tarantino. Like the trunk shot, Tarantino basically invented that. Or if he didn't invent it, he popularized it.
Sure.
I mean, if you go and watch any Tarantino film, that's in almost every single one of his movies, from Reservoir Dogs to Pulp Fiction to Jackie Brown. There's his first 3 movies, like it's in there.
Yeah, it's very different vibe.
Yeah, this is more like the pulp cinema sort of vibe.
It's like way more dramatic. At least the feel that you're getting from the trailer. That guy was so good. He plays the...
Didn't this end with the mafia guy being a laughingstock? It's been a while since we watched it. It's all coming back to me. And so it's making me really wonder how the Akshay Kumar version is going to play out.
Yeah, but the thing is that this trailer so far is giving it a very different vibe. However, when you watch the movie, there still are a lot of really fun comedic elements.
Yeah.
Although I feel like the Hindi version is leaning into the comedy and the kind of over-the-topness of it a lot more than this. It was funny because of the situations and some of the characters, but it wasn't played for like straight up laugh.
This for me feels closer to Tarantino, and the Akshay Kumar one feels almost like an exaggerated form of the Coen brothers or something. It's
sure.
Just, it's just way more into the comedy area.
This guy was great. I loved his acting. That scene though. That was like the one similarity really was just the recreation of that scene where all the goons are behind him and then they're asking the questions. But otherwise, I mean, if you only watch the trailers of these 2 movies, they feel completely different.
Tonally.
Yeah.
Tonally. They feel
but when you know the story, you're like, wasn't it just that though? I'm curious about this one.
너 어릴 때 생각해보면 네가 그런 일 한다는 게 잘 상상이 안 가.
현주야, 나 말만 건드리지 네가 생각하는 그런 사람 아니야. 108동 503호 남해동 거 갔으면 갚아야 될 거 아니야. 난 이게 진짜 도역된
Wow.
이게 선옥이는 엄마가 책임질 거야? 이번 한 번만 제 사정 좀 봐주십시오. 이게 무슨... 너 올해 몇 살이냐? 조폭 새끼들, 기생충 같은 새끼들. 진짜! 이번에 준비한 게 건달 얘기야. 사람 사는 거 다 똑같지 뭐.
조용히 작업해버리면 안 되겠니? 내가 죽이는 거 하나 가지고 온다. 나 믿고 한번 가보자.
그러면 저희 다 죽습니다.
Karaoke.
사람들이 쳐다보니까 빨리 받아.
식구가 뭐요? 식구란 건 말이오. 같이 밥 먹는 이 근육이요.
우리 식구들 다 뒤져버리면 형님 책임지실 겁니까?
평생 우리 말고 또 아는 사람 있으면 안 돼.
먹고 살려고 손에 피 묻히고 사심이 들고 별짓도 다 해도 인생 바뀌는 거 하나 없네.
지나간 건 다 잊어버리고 앞으로 잘해보자고. 자, 건배.
That feels
That's
way
really interesting.
That feels way different from the other two.
Yeah, well, because it's the perspective, I guess, or like who we're following. Because it feels like in this movie, you're more so following the gangster, whereas in the two Indian versions, yes, the gangster story is important, but you're more so following the story of the filmmaker who's kind of infiltrating into that world.
I need to watch a Dirty Carnival to really understand what the filmmakers of Jigarthanda got out of that and how they got their story. Because they feel completely different.
Which is great. I feel like it's more of the story of A Dirty Carnival is what inspired the story of Jigarthanda, but it's more of like they took inspiration from that story and that idea and made it into something of their own.
I mean, this feels more different than Loop Lepeta from Run Lola Run.
Yeah.
Like, it feels way different.
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with a gangster who's not even at the top of his game. He's someone who wants to be recognized for what he does. And gangsters are sort of treated like scum. They're not revered and they're not feared. That's a fascinating take on just the idea of a gangster, so much so that I really want to watch that movie.
It looks so interesting.
And it's riding that line just like Korean films do, the ones I like anyway, between what is like drama, what is comedy. It can bounce between the two very easily and like at an unexpected point in the movie.
And I think it's interesting as well because, you know, it kind of has that K-drama feel where, you know, the lead gangster he has like a certain appealing look about him. He's young, he's handsome, and there's like that kind of love story there as well.
Well, that's it right there, is that he's young and handsome as opposed to being the seasoned older veteran.
Guy, yeah. I was kind of captivated by that whole thing that they showed in the beginning where the lady is all like, I never imagined that you would become this since I knew you in school. And you get that idea of like, oh wow, like what happened to this guy? And as you watch more of the trailer, at least I was drawn into more of the story of his struggles, his desires, and how he feels about himself. I'm like, oh, that's so compelling.
Yeah.
To like really humanize this gangster character.
I really need to watch it just to see how they got to Jigarthanda, because I can see the evolution from Jigarthanda to BACHCHHAN PAANDEY.
Yeah.
I can see the evolution of that, but I can't see the evolution quite as easily from Dirty Carnival to Jigarthanda. Like, I mean, it's even further removed from BACHCHHAN PAANDEY.
I like it because, you know, so many times when you get remakes, they can often feel like a straight up copy, like Arjun Reddy. If you watched one movie,
but
then
like,
you're probably fine not to watch Kabir Singh.
But like Rocky Handsome, for instance, I saw the original of that ending and then I watched the Rocky Handsome version. I'm like, I can see the evolution there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like a straight duplication. It feels like this is John Abraham's version of this film, of this story, and I'm like, I can see that. And I can likewise see the evolution from Jigarthanda to BACHCHHAN Pandey. I'm just so stuck on like, how did you get that from Dirty Carnival? Like, that's not even the same story.
It's the seed of a story, I think. It's like the seed of an inspiration.
You literally could have watched any gangster movie at that point. It's like, it had to be that he was watching Dirty Carnival and it just like his brain just went into this other direction.
Sparked off another idea, which I think is fantastic because like I said in the beginning, it's almost like these days there's nothing original anymore.
Yeah.
Because everything is inspired by something that we see, whether it's, you know, an old movie or a book or a comic or something. And while I'm not saying that everyone is just straight up copying everyone, that's not it. It's like we're always inspired by the content and the people and the things that we see in our everyday life.
The truth of the matter is everything is derivative on some level, right? And it's just how derivative is it? If it's too derivative, now we're calling it derivative.
Yeah, now it's a copy. Now it's derivative. Whereas, you know, if it's inspired by something that we see and we really like, but we put our own spin on it, which I feel like Jigarthanda definitely did from A Dirty Carnival, and then even BACHCHHAN Pandey is doing its own thing with like the tone and everything. It feels different. So I like it. I like seeing this evolution.
It's a very interesting trinity. Because, like, what the hell?
From that to that to that, like what?
Because you literally could have watched, like, Godfather or Goodfellas and gotten Jigarthanda based on the likeness. Because I saw something about a person with a camera in Dirty Carnival, and I'm like, oh, so now in the trailer we're going to get to see that.
And it was just like...
It was fleeting, and it just went away. I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't even seem relevant to the whole picture here. But maybe that's what the director of Jigarthanda got hooked into. Is like, oh, that would be interesting. Like,
maybe.
That story.
Who knows? Or they just didn't show it that much in the trailer.
I mean, that's sort of what inspired Cloverfield. It's like you watch Independence Day, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's that person who's like that rando just running from the destruction. What if we made a movie about that guy? Just, you know, that's how you got Cloverfield. That's just sort of rando inspiration, and maybe that's what happened here. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon, please. All notifications and vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.